Hour. I am your hostess, Victoria's Cantina, and it is great to be here with you for the first time in about a month since our little summer hiatus that we've undertaken and now ended over the past several weeks. So I'm glad to be back. It was a very nice break, but I'm back at work and I'm back in this season of streaming, I guess you could say. Great to be here, you guys. I'm so excited. There's so much to discuss. There's a lot that has transpired in the last month. Chief among them being, of course, San Diego Comic-Con, where I was at last week, and the big Haslab Star Wars reveal for the Republic Gunship. So there's a lot to discuss. We're going to talk a little bit about Hot Toys. We're going to catch up on the latest Hot Toys news. We're going to be discussing stuff that was revealed from Ghostbusters, from Batman 89. We got some McFarlane for you. We've got Inart, because there is a really, 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 really cool drop of Inart that I am like just over the moon about. And of course, we're going to talk Hasbro Star Wars reveals from Comic-Con, including the Haslab. And then we'll cap it all off with new acquisitions, brand new things that we've added to our collections in the last little while. So it is great to be here. Thank you guys for being here with me on a Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Not our usual Friday. As you may recall, if you caught the last stream before we went on hiatus, Thursday night is going to be the new night for a little while. There may be an occasional Wednesday in there, and of course, the occasional Saturday Cantina coffee hour. In fact, there is a Cantina coffee hour coming up. I don't know exactly what Saturday it's going to be, but it will be within the next few weeks. And when that happens, I will certainly let you guys know about that. But it's going to be a big one. I'm going to have some of my favorite guests on, and we're basically going to be talking Haslab. So that will be coming in the near future. I will keep you guys updated as to when that is here on Social Hour as well as on Instagram. But yes, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I always say, I mean, this show it feels like me just talking to myself, but I know that I have some of the most fantastic Cantinians watching, and I really appreciate you guys. You guys are what make the show. So thank you very much for all you do, especially our channel members, a few of them here, and Cantina patrons as well. Thank you so much for your support. We love you guys. And that being said, we've covered the topics. Let me go ahead and see who is in the chat this evening, and we'll get this show on the road. So we got our soda fountain bartender who's tending the soda fountain. Dodgson, our good pal Dodgson, is with us. And the soda fountain is back open. Thank you, Dodgson. We appreciate you tending the soda fountain. For all your drink requests, make sure you hit up this guy right here. He's gonna whip up your favorite soda concoction, soft drink. We've got our fantastic moderator, Adam Kennedy, with us. Hello, Adam. Thank you for being here with us tonight as always, and for bartending and bouncing, or for bouncing and protecting and keeping us safe. Thank you for doing your perimeter check and ensuring that everything was up to snuff. We really do appreciate it. Let's see here. We've got our friend Rick in the house. Hello, Rick. How are you doing? Good to see you. We got David Matthews. Hello, David. It is great to see you. Peak Obi-Wan, our friend Chad Peak is with us. Hello, Chad. We've got Steve Rabid Hammer. Steve and OG going back all the way to 2013 when this channel started up. Thank you for being here, Steve. We got our friend Mary Sullivan with us. Hey, Mary. Good to see you, of course. We've got Nicholas H. Hello, Nick. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Funeral Motors. Interesting name. But I like it. It works. Thank you, Funeral Motors. Appreciate you being here. Bob is with us. It's good to see you, Bob. We got Paul's Collectibles. Don't think I've ever seen your DTOS. Very cool. Thank you. Yes, I forgot to mention to you guys, brand new background. I mean, it's nice to be able to mix it up. Thankfully, all I have to do is point the camera in a different direction, and we got a different background. So right now, my background for the time being is going to be the DTOS. So some of the 6 scale stuff back there. Mando Mitchie is with us. Howdy. Thank you for being here. Our friend Anthony. What is up, Anthony? Shout out to Anthony, who hung out with us at the creator meetup over at Comic-Con last week. That was a lot of fun, as always. Our 2nd annual creator meetup, in which quite a few people came. We had a really good turnout. I'll show a picture in a little bit. And yeah, feels like an office. Okay. We got Jason with us. What's up, Jason? July through November hanging out with us. How's it going? Good to see you, friend. All right. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. All right. So I'm going to start. Let's see what I want to start with tonight. I'm going to start with Ghostbusters, you guys. Is that cool, Ghostbusters? There's a lot to cover. And I'm by myself. So bear with me. All right, here we go. Ghostbusters. So you guys know, retro Ghostbusters, I love it. That's one of the lines I grew up with. That was one of the biggest lines that I started collecting when I was a little kid. Not with the mentality that I was collecting. It's just that's what I had. That's what I was playing with. One of the things I was playing with was the real Ghostbusters Kenner toy line. And I just have such a soft spot for that line. And anytime that Hasbro goes back and brings back some of those old figures, which they started doing back in 2020, it makes me very happy. I want more of that. Like, I'd rather have more of that than like new stuff, honestly, just because I lost all my old stuff. So it gave me great pleasure to see that the Ecto Glows are going to be a continued focus for Hasbro. So the Ecto one, which you can see here in its Ecto Glow color palette, glow in the dark, of course, is up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse. We knew this one was coming, along with the figures, which were a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which I did manage to pick up. And then, of course, I did pre-order the Ecto one. Like, this is the kind of thing, like, I love the hot toys. I love the Inart. I love the fancy, like, Haslab stuff. But, like, I don't know. For me, like, in a way, there's really no beating, like, the classic figures and toys that you grew up with, and just that classic vibe of the late 80s, early 90s. Like, to me, that was, like, I mean, I remember it pretty well. I mean, for being a kid, I guess. But it was just, there's just so much nostalgia there. There's just so much, you know, of the feeling of having toys and playing with them and enjoying them and being adventurous. So these make me happy to see. I'm glad they're continuing these. We got our friend Britt with us. Hey, Britt, good to see you. These make me very happy to see. So the Ecto one, Ecto Glow, $49.99. Yeah, it glows in the dark. I had a little conversation with Chris Reif, who's on the Hasbro Star Wars team, the designer of the Haslabs, including the New Republic Gunship, and he told me that he's seen these in person at the manufacturing source, and that they are just so bright. The Ecto Glows. He said that they're some of the brightest glow in the dark things he's ever seen for toys, which really excites me because, you know, as a kid, like, glow in the dark was kind of everything. It just upped the cool factor of any toys if they could glow in the dark. So this is really neat. I mean, I cannot wait. Again, it's something that's like 30 some years old, something that I had as a kid. You would think I would be less excited about it, but I'm actually like very pumped about these, like very, very pumped. I mean, it just looks awesome. I cannot wait. Yeah, I do have the previous Ecto one that they re-released a few years back, but I mean, this is the Ecto Glow Ecto one. It's a whole other thing. So I'm very pumped about it. One thing that was very exciting to me as well is another announcement, something that was also on display at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to show that to you guys. That still ties in with the Ghostbusters, the retro theme. And that is no, we don't want ants. How do we get rid of the ant? There we go. This is from GhostbustersNews.com. The Ecto Glow line is going to continue expanding, so there are more toys coming. This is a fall convention exclusive. And this is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Slimer figures. I don't know if they're a 2-pack or if they're on separate cards. That I forgot to check. But again, glow in the dark, more Ecto Glow. They're going to tie in with the Ecto one. They're going to tie in with the figures. I'm very excited about it. They're going to be a blast. I hope I can get them. They are convention exclusive, so I assume that means like Hasbro PulseCon and probably New York Comic Con. So I assume they'll go online and probably shouldn't be too hard to get. But I am very excited about expanding that line and just having like a shelf that's just like everything's like brightly glowing. Like to me, that's going to be a blast. Yeah. So Britt says the Slimer is terrifying. Yeah, I mean, I see that. He is a little scary looking. He definitely is. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So as far as what it says here, yeah, it's not very clear whether or not it's a 2-pack or not, if they're going to be in separate containers. But here's a look at the whole collection thus far for Ecto Glow. So I think this was from the Hasbro preview breakfast. Unfortunately, this is the first year that in the last like decade that I was not able to attend the preview breakfast because I had a work commitment that I could not get out of. So I was bummed I couldn't be there, but I was happy to see everything that came out of there in terms of the videos and photos. So yeah, so you have the 4 Ghostbusters, you got the Ecto one, and then you have the upcoming Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Slimer. I'm pumped. I will say that this is a nice little thing for them to do. And again, I hope they continue the retro thing because I really, really, really dig it. We're going to go and move on. We are going to move on to, let's move on to the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight himself. All right, so I featured these, I think last fall. We talked about the Mezco 5 points collection. They've done so many things by now. I think it started off with just, it was the Batman 1960s classic TV series. They did something for that. And then they moved on to this right here with Wave 1. This is Wave 2. And they've also done like the Goonies. There's so many things that they've done in the 5 points lineup. Really cool stuff. This is going to be Wave 2 of Batman 89. So you do get Batman himself, of course. And this time he's got the whole cape thing going on, which is pretty cool. Like that's cool. That's really cool. I mean, as cool as the first one seems to be, I mean, I still don't have them. But here's Wave 2 already coming. It's neat to see them bringing it back, continuing it. You also got the Museum Mayhem Joker as part of Wave 2. And then you have Joker Goon, the one with the boombox that's blasting the boombox as they're going around the museum, spray painting and desecrating all the fine art in that establishment, which we don't endorse by any means. We definitely don't get caught up in that. But I love that movie. I'm definitely picking these up. I think there's a variant of the Joker too, where he just has normal paint. What I am curious about though is I know, based on conversations I've had with different folks, that Jack Nicholson is not authorizing his likeness to be used on merchandise anymore. So I don't really know how they managed to do this, because it kind of looks like Jack Nicholson. I mean, you could it being a 5 POA figure from that line, you can kind of maybe get away with saying it's not Jack Nicholson. It looks like Jack Nicholson, so I'm not really sure how they managed to pull that one off. Maybe they negotiated before he decided not to do any more collectibles. But either way, it's pretty cool. And the variant Joker has the white paint on his face. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to pre-order these when the time comes. But I am waiting and waiting and waiting for Wave 1 to finally ship, because that one had the Batmobile, right? The 4-inch scale Batmobile. That one had some of the other figures that make up Wave 1, like Batman and Bob the Goon and such. So I'm really looking forward to that once those finally arrive. But yeah, these are really cool. If any of you guys are intending on pre-ordering these, please let me know, because I'd really much like to know who else is doing them. Let's see. I got some other stuff to show you guys in the world of Batman. So this isn't from Mesco. We're actually going to shift gears, and we're going to focus on a different company. So this company here has been doing DC for quite a while before they recently lost the license to Mattel. So these ones here are going to be the McFarlane 7-inch line of Batman figures. So this was interesting. I really did not see this coming. McFarlane, I have a love-hate relationship with McFarlane. But I got to hand it to them for what they've been doing with DC. Not because I would say the quality is just the greatest of all time, like action figures, but more because of the offerings, the wealth of offerings that they've been incorporating into their main line. Not to mention all the Batmobiles. Which is pretty far out to think that we've, in the last 2 years, we've gotten the 89 Batmobile in 7-inch scale. We've got the Batman Forever Batmobile, Batman and Robin, re-release of the animated series, even Batman Beyond, the Tumbler, the Camo Tumbler. And now they're also doing a crowdfund now for the Batman v Superman / Justice League Batmobile. So there's a lot of options. I did not see this coming, you guys, and it's gonna have to be a must get. So this is only at GameStop and EB Games. Penguin's Duck Mobile. Yeah, you saw that right. Penguin's Duck Mobile with Penguin in his. He's not wearing his jacket. He's not really wearing his trousers. So I guess we could say these are Penguin's long johns, but he still has the tie on him. I guess this is kind of close to right before he died. So that was totally unexpected. I did not envision that they were gonna do that. I know we've talked before about some of the other things they did announce previously, like Max Shrek, Batman Returns Batman, Penguin, Catwoman, so finally we're gonna have Max Shrek. I'm so excited about that. But Duckmobile, that is out of left field. That is definitely out of left field. But it's the kind of thing I need because. Obviously I'm a huge Batman fan, but I also really especially love Batman 89 and Batman Returns. Those are my 2 favorite Batman movies. So, yeah, I'm going to must have, whenever this is on pre-order. Yes. Definitely going to get the Duckmobile with Penguin. I don't know where I'm going to put the Duckmobile with Penguin, but I'm going to get it because it's cool. Just going to do a little quick, run to the comments here. We got our friend Lorena with us. Hi, Lorena. Let's see here. Steve says, the first wave and Batmobile must be held over somewhere. Those are still yet to come. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that holdup. I don't know if it was they got held up somewhere, or they're in transit, or maybe they're going to ship out. I would think it's going to be soon. They keep pushing it back because first it was spring of this year, then it was June, July. Today's the last day of July, so I don't think it's going to be this month. But yeah, hopefully soon. We got Leonardo 2014. Greetings to you. We got Scott 9 with us. How's it going? Did you see the 3 3/4 inch Battlestar Galactica? I did. I'm not going to feature them tonight, but I did see those. I'm actually not a huge fan of that franchise, but as I always say, I can always separate toys from films and movies and such, and have bought things from films and movies that I haven't and TV shows that I haven't seen. So yeah, the toys look fantastic for Battlestar Galactica. Absolutely look fantastic, but not going to do it. There's already too much to focus on. Adam says, looks like, love that this looks like it's been in the Zoosaurs. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like there's really nice weathering on it. Really nice weathering on it. The duck better show up in the Penguin season 2. That would be funny. Like Colin Farrell Penguin just getting in the duckmobile. It would have to be like a mallard duck, right? Like a different kind of duck. That would actually be hilarious. Like if they could work that in somehow where it's actually compelling, like that would be pretty funny. Penguins, Long John Silvers. Yes. Oh yeah, Nacelle's Star Trek figures. That's right, Adam. I did see those as well. Yeah, I mean those are interesting. I was watching our pal over on Jay from Geek Dad Life the other night, and he was showcasing those, and yeah, they look interesting. They do look interesting. A little more basic, but definitely interesting. Leonardo 2014 says, I am Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014. Cool. I was wondering when you were going to show up. Nicholas says, it was funny to see all the new masks at SDCC. I sold my childhood collection to focus on TVC, so I won't be rebuying. But it all looked cool. Companies are definitely leaning into the nostalgia factor. Yeah, 100%. Those did look cool. They do look very cool. They're not for me. That was before my time, that original line, so I never had any of it. But again, I appreciate good toys when I see them. Those look like really excellent toys, but I'm not gonna pull the trigger there. The poshest of ducks. Yep, definitely. All right. Let's go ahead and move away from Batman. And we are going to turn our attention to, let's talk about just SDCC in general for a minute. I was there last Friday. As you guys probably know, I live here in San Diego, so for me to go to Comic-Con is easy. I just take the train over there. It takes like 20 minutes to get there. And it's one thing that I would never miss, and I'm very grateful to have locally. Because Comic-Con is just one of those events. Like there's so many things about it that are stressful and challenging, and you got to bring your patience with you. You have to bring, water. It gets hot. There's a lot of people. You definitely have to be very patient at Comic-Con, but at the same time, it's one of those places where most of the people there are like-minded to me and to us, who are big, pop culture and fans and collectors of different toys that we enjoy. So, I always try to go to Comic-Con at least for one of the days. And that day is usually Friday, because that is the day where they have like the big, the toy announcements for a lot of the companies, especially Hasbro. That's when they always do their event, their panel. And that's when I also did my Q&A with them this past Friday last week. The best thing about going to Comic-Con isn't the toys, it isn't the costumes, it isn't the reveals, it isn't the announcements, or even like the celebrities there. For me, the best thing is seeing all the people in the toy community, fellow collectors and creators that I've come to know over the years. That's 100% the best thing. All right. That's always the best thing for me, is just kind of reconnecting with a lot of the friends I've made in this community, many of whom are YouTubers and content creators, and social influencers, whatever you want to call them. It's great to see the same folks every year, especially when, I've had some of them here on the show, and I've done podcasts and whatnot with a lot of those folks. So one of the things that that I always love doing, of course, is the collector meetup. So this is something that I started at Comic-Con last year as an event. I called it the Creator Meetup, and the whole intent was that creators from across YouTube and social media, whatever, came together and got to say hello to each other, but also have our followers and viewers come to find a place, a central location where they could come and say hi to their favorite content creators. And this whole thing was inspired by Dano of the Dano channel, who isn't on YouTube anymore, sadly. Love Dan, he's fantastic. But he did this at Star Wars Celebration 2022 in Anaheim, and I was one of the people he invited over, and it was just so cool. There were so many cool people there, YouTubers and Star Wars, well-known Star Wars folks. So it was really cool to do that, and so that's what inspired me. So I did the meetup last year. We had a huge turnout, and then I said, let's keep doing it. This was a blast. So we did it again this year. So I just want to show a picture for a moment and just thank once again everybody who came to our meetup, our creator meetup. So good bunch of friends right here. I'm sure I'm going to miss naming some of them. But of course, Imperial Communique, who I think is or was here in the chat a little while ago. Anthony, thanks again for coming and for your help. And then of course, some of my friends here from Jurassic Outpost, Samantha and Caleb. Nostalgic Adam was with us, really, really cool guy. Of course, we had Mike Case, who's been on the show multiple times, just fantastic human being. We had Dan Larson come and say hi to us. Toy Galaxy, he's great. I love both of those two. Like, I know I posted this on social, but if I could have two more brothers, I'd really want it to be Mike and Dan. Like, I think they would be like the best brothers. And then we had other folks there as well. We had Zay, also known as Black Series on Instagram. Just looking across the back, Visual Force, Richie, and Feel the Force, Derek, and Raymond over there with the home solo shirt. I mean, just a great group of people. And there were others that came by, Jay from Geek Dad Life, and several folks came by. There were a couple others that were going to come by, but they got held up in other events. So just a huge thanks real quick to everybody who came, creators, viewers. We really appreciated it. It was a blast, and we'll definitely do the third annual one next year for once again. And I just intend to keep it going as long as people show up for it. So what a blast getting to hang out with everybody. So Comic-Con was fun. It was very busy. There was a lot going on, of course. There was a lot to do. And it's very overwhelming. I was very overwhelmed, and I didn't even get to see everything that I wanted to see, but, I was kind of quote unquote working too, of course, with the Hasbro panel and all that. I also do want to give a shout out, to Hasbro, because they put on a really good panel. I was really, really happy to be at the panel. Of course, I did an interview with Hasbro following their panel. I was very lucky. This is the first time I've ever gotten front row at the panel. And it was just a blast to be there and to see everybody and to listen. And one thing that was really cool, and this is one of my little highlights, Victoria's Cantina highlights, is, I was there in the front row across from Hasbro, and they were doing their thing. And then for Mr. Stevie to give me a shout out during the panel, when he brought up the Tonica sisters and was thanking Lucasfilm for finally authorizing them, and then pointed at me and said, especially this young lady here in the front, like, that was really cool. Thank you, Steve, for doing that. That definitely made my made my day. But yeah, panel was excellent. You guys saw the reveals. We are going to talk about them in just a little bit, but again, shout out to Hasbro just for putting on an awesome panel, doing their reveals, doing their thing, doing their Q&As. And one thing I did get to do, of course, that I did note is I got to do a Q&A with Hasbro. because they let me talk to them still after all these years. So that is up on the channel. If you'd like to give it a look, just hit me up, hit my main channel up, and it's the first video to come up. Hasbro Star Wars brand interview, SDCC 2025. And if you want to go back in time, you could go back several years and watch like all the way back to like 2016 or something. Like it's crazy. So yes, it was really a great time. Check out that video if you haven't yet. They give a lot of good information, and it was a really good conversation. It was just really good energy, good vibe, which is fun. That said, I think we are going to go ahead and move on to 6 scale before we circle back to Hasbro. Just taking a quick peek into the comments and seeing. We got Brad with us. Hello, Brad. Awesome. All right, let's move to 6 scale, you guys. There's been a lot with 6 scale over the last few weeks. Oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. I'll start with Hot Toys. All right. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on all of these, but I do kind of just want to acknowledge some of these. So I don't know. I'm trying to think when we last left off before we went on break. Like, what was the last thing we talked about? I'm not 100% sure. But I think Big Chap from Alien was one of the big ones. So they're doing a Big Chap figure. And it's up for pre-order. There's a special edition, a collector edition. Price is $315. And that looks pretty cool. I'm not an Alien person. I mean, I do have a couple of figures. I have like a Ripley figure and I have a Xenomorph from, I think, the NECA versions. But I'm really not much of an Alien fan. There's also James Bond Commando outfit. Again, not a huge Bond person. I not that you can really compare them, but I'm more of I like Mission Impossible a little bit more. RoboCop, $300, collector edition, special edition. So this is really cool. I'm not a big RoboCop like person. I don't have a single RoboCop collectible, but I do appreciate looking at a nice toy, and this is a really nice toy. Like if I wasn't collecting so many other things, I'd probably have to pick it up just on the principle of it being such a huge, like, pretty significant pop cultural sort of thing. It's a really cool item. It's a really cool item. All right, then we get into, there's another Big Chap special edition. All right, this one costs $315. Oh, it's the same thing. It's just posted twice. Never mind. That'll take us to Fantastic Four, which was these were announced a couple weeks back. I haven't seen the movie yet. I have not seen the movie yet. I haven't had a chance. I'm going to try and see it maybe this weekend sometime. But yeah, I mean, these look really cool. Mr. Fantastic and Herbie. Price is $320. And there's 4 versions of Mr. Fantastic. You get the deluxe version, exclusive, deluxe version, special edition, and collector edition. That likeness is pretty nice. That likeness is pretty nice. I hope I don't want to buy these after I finally see the film. Invisible Woman. There are, let's see, 4 versions of her as well. Deluxe version, exclusive, deluxe version, special edition, collector edition. The deluxe is $320. The special edition is $290. She looks pretty good. She looks pretty good. I don't know that I would. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know that I would say it looks like spot on. It almost looks like a kind of like Uncanny Valley, like kind of like robot sort of territory, like Japanese robot sort of territory, I guess. But it looks good. I mean, the proportions, her proportions look really nice. Yeah, it's definitely a nice looking. I mean, accessory is pretty cool. The baby. Yeah, not bad. Stop giving me ads, Sideshow. I'm already like up to here in pre-orders with you guys. I don't need more ads. There's the Thing special edition and collector edition, both priced at $295, which is interesting. They're actually a little bit less. He's actually a little bit less. I don't know if it's because he comes with less, but he's a big figure. When I was looking at through these photos previously, I did think it was kind of laughable. Like, let's see if I can find the photo. Oh yeah, right here. The display base. Like, check this out. Like the display base. Look how little that thing is. Like he can barely like. It barely qualifies as a base. I mean, he's like his feet are hanging over the edge of it. I mean, to me that's kind of funny. Like I understand how Hot Toys likes to reuse their bases and they like to like do that kind of thing where they repaint it and stuff. Like I feel like this is one of those instances where they probably just should have made a new base. Like come on. Allison is with us. What's up, Allison? Yeah. Bob, ask me this again when we talk about the Haslab, because I will talk about that a little bit more. One thing that was interesting about these reveals is that the Thing looks really cool, by the way. He does look really cool. Was that, let's see if we can find, oh yeah, he's way down here. Human Torch. Johnny Storm. I don't know why he's not up for pre-order already. To me, that's kind of odd. Like, why would you list him and not put him for pre-order? That's just a really unexplainable thing to me. I can't really say why they would do that. But yeah, it is interesting. I don't know why they would do that. Anyway, I guess he's coming at some point. All right. I'll circle back to a couple of these in just a moment. So Galactus Jumbo version. This is a SoFi version. $315 for the special edition and collector edition. So this is a bigger figure, but it's not the typical, as I understand it, it's not the typical Hot Toys like quality. And I don't mean that I don't mean that in a negative way. It's not intended to be like a giant hot toy, so to speak. It's more of like, it's Galactus, but he's like more of a, like he's a bigger figure. He's a much bigger figure. I mean, I guess you can kind of see that when you look at the photo here next to the dude. Don't know who that dude is, but whoever that dude in the sideshow, sure it is some dude. It is a really large figure. It looks cool. It looks really cool, actually, but it's not the kind of thing that I would need. But if I were to go to somebody's house and they had this in their collection, I would be impressed. Of course, I don't really have any like real life friends that do have collections like this. They're all online, people that I've met in person, but don't, they're all, YouTubers and such. Yeah. So basically I'll never see it in person because I'm never going to go to a friend's house that has this on display. Basically. Turn that one into a little bit of a downer, I guess. Another Iron Man, we're going to skip that. It's nothing new. Robocane's a new one. Special edition, collector edition, both $525 from RoboCop 2. I mean, again, cool, but not for me. I'll circle back to Joker. Let's talk about Sam for just a second. So Death Stranding 2, we got Sam here. Norman Reedus. And yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but I've never been into this, so I've never played this. I don't really know too much about it, to be honest. But I will say it's a nice looking figure. It's got a really nice likeness. And it makes me wonder like what it would be like if Hot Toys is doing more like Walking Dead figures. I know that Inart is working on a couple. All right. And that's going to bring me to saving the, well, kind of, I guess, to me, saving the best for last. And that is the Joker Bank Robber Edition. You see what I mean? Another ad. I already have plenty of pre-orders with you guys. I don't need more ads. All right. Who got the Artisan Joker? I know my friend Mary got Artisan Joker. This one was very exciting to me because even though it's not Joker in his iconic purple outfit from The Dark Knight, it's still the Heath Ledger Joker, which is my personal favorite Joker. Despite, I know I always say, the Tim Burton Batman movies are my favorite. They are, but Heath Ledger Joker is my favorite version. And I did get the Artisan, the previous Artisan version in the purple suit, or the cheap purple suit, as Maroni says in The Dark Knight. Yeah, this is the bank robber one. So this is the one from the very beginning of the film where they break into the bank and they steal the money and then they escape in the school bus. Like, pretty iconic, right? I mean, to me, that was, when I saw that scene, it was released. I think it was released with Inception, or maybe it was whatever was before. There was a movie that it was released with, one of Christopher Nolan's movies, and they showed like the first like 10 minutes of it or something. It was that scene. But yeah, this looks really, really nice. He looks amazing. So it's not just the Artisan version. There's also the Artisan version is $435, excuse me. You can get the special edition or the collector edition for $310, quite a bit less. But not, I wouldn't say it's grotesquely less or grotesquely more for the Artisan version. It's 100 and, come on, Victoria, you're a teacher, do the math. It's $125 more. To me, that's not horrible. I will say that with this one, it does look like the rooted hair one looks better. Like let's just take a look at the sculpted for just a moment. It looks great. Don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful. It really does. But I think this is one of those instances where, like, when you compare it with the Artisan, it just, look at those eyes, how creepy and realistic that is. When you compare it with the Artisan version, let's jump back to the Artisan version. Like, to me, like I said, this is just one of those instances where it just looks more convincing, more compelling, more realistic. So I know that I was very happy with the first Artisan Joker. And I think I'm going to be very happy with this one as well. Whenever it does come out, probably going to be a while. I think that's very well said, Allison. It looks lifeless in comparison. Yeah, the sculpted version does look a little less lifelike than the Artisan. It's still excellent. If you got the sculpted, I'm sure you're going to be happy with it. But for me, like, it had to be the Artisan version. Let's look at some of these photos here. And I'm sure several of you have seen the streams from some of our friends here in the community that do the focus on 6 scale. But I mean, yeah, just, oh man. Like, I know these are just the prototype, but like I have the other Joker here. I mean, he's gorgeous, but just like looking at him, I don't know, something about this one almost looks a little bit more, even though it's a prototype, it looks like almost a little bit better. Like, if I talk about the head sculpt, it looks a little like almost better. Man, look at that, you guys. I mean, that's just a really realistic portrait. And that's a really cool pose. Like, I might have to steal that pose whenever I get my figure. Whenever that is. Could be 2027 for all I know. You guys know how this stuff goes. But yeah, I mean, dang. Look at that pose with the suitcase, and then, oh man, that's cool. That is really cool. Tailoring looks great. I'm not worried about that. They did a phenomenal job on the last Joker. The previous Heath Ledger Joker. Just a really, really pretty figure. And they did bring their A game to the posing when they took these photos because really great photography. What's cool about the artisan version is you do get the two heads. So you get the normal head here, which doesn't have the mask on. Looks amazing, looks incredible. Paint detail, the realism of the texturing on the face, just exquisite. But let's see, you also get some more stuff. You get the case with all the little goodies in it. You get the mask. You get a couple of guns. What really caught my eye, though, you guys, is you also get a second complete head sculpt. I mean, I don't know how complete it is. I don't know if there's a face underneath the mask, but you get artisan the rooted hair. You get rooted hair on the alternate portrait, which is kind of nice. So you get two portraits that have rooted hair, which is a first for the artisan line. And that's really cool. I mean, I don't know that I would personally display him with this. I don't think I would because I like seeing the likeness, how good it is. But I would definitely have him holding at least, the mask by itself because you do have like the mask accessory separate. I would definitely have him holding the mask in his hand, just like one of those other photos that we looked at. Just like, where's that pose I wanted to steal? And all of these poses are good. Yeah, but like that, to me, that looks like it really feels like the film. Like I said, they nailed this photography. It looks awesome. It looks so good. Like I can just visualize that scene, like him walking to the bank like that with the mask on, and man, I cannot wait. Yeah, so cool. So cool. Let's jump over to the end. Those pictures where they start showing you like everything you get. So this is everything you get. All right. So Artisan Edition has the two heads. It has the mask. It has the bag. It's got the dollars, the cash, the fake cash. Bunch of hands, deck of cards, the string that he has that comes out when he gets on the school bus. It's got a cardboard diorama of the school bus. It's got a display base. Kind of looks like the last display base that came with the other Joker, but it's a different, it's painted differently. You get the weapons, of course, and then you get, it says metal collectible card with display case. I guess that's cool. I hadn't actually noticed that until just now. It's not something I was aware of. I guess to cap off our look here at the Joker, I do want to end by saying that this pre-order was so smooth. This was probably the smoothest Artisan pre-order that I've gotten in on. It was very easy. It was painless. I was on break at work, and I was able to pop on there. I think I in the background, I just had my computer running about 20 minutes before. Like I think it was like 9:41, 9:42 Pacific time that I went in there. The queue wasn't on the website. You had to go to the figures page to get to the queue. And then at 10 o'clock Pacific, the queue opened. And then I was in there within like 5 minutes. Getting the figure in my cart. Like at 10:05, I had the figure in my cart and I was able to check out. No problem at all. It was so painless. It was, I wish that every single Artisan release was like this. So just hats off to Sideshow for doing a good job there. Now, I'm sure part of that is, that it was another, yet another Joker. So that's probably part of it. I'm sure if it was like an Artisan, like Princess Leia Organa from A New Hope, for example, it would have been a little more challenging. I would expect. But this was very, very easy. And it was in stock as far as I could tell. It was still in stock by like 9:50 a.m. I think it was 9:52 a.m. where I saw that it was finally like gone and it was on wait list. So it was a very smooth thing. And I just realized that I still have I have the wrong banner. I have the wrong banner on the bottom. Let's fix that. There we go. Hot Toys. So yeah, Joker looks awesome. And I'm very excited to add him to my collection. Let me jump over to the chat and see what is up. I do see a few new names conversing in the Cantina. Lorena says, in real life, friends are hard to find. Yes, not okay. In general, even regular friends, like just to go like get your nails done with or to go have lunch with is hard, right? Like schedules and stuff. But like toy friends, like that's especially hard, like in person, like somebody like, Dodgen says, I buy a single Hot Toys figure to fill the void on my shelf. Nobody panics because it's all part of the plan. But when I max out my credit card with Hot Toys, well, then everyone loses their minds. Figure Report is with us. Those luscious ledger longs. Nice. Anonymous Throne. Hello. People are getting rid of their Haslab for that. For what? What are they getting rid of their Haslab for? I must have missed something. An epic Pie is with us. Hey, gang, did we talk about the LAAT yet? The lat? No, we have not. We're saving that for the end. Figure Report asking, what non-Batman Nolan movie character would you want a Hot Toys from? Non-Batman, but Nolan movie character. I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, I think I think Christopher Nolan's one of the most brilliant directors of our time. But other than this is, with me, that's with me saying that. Other than the Dark Knight trilogy, I don't really rewatch his films. I'm sure I've seen like maybe Interstellar. Like, actually, I think I only saw Interstellar once. Inception, I know I've seen at least twice. I've seen Memento once, I think. The Prestige, I've seen that a couple of times. What else? The name of it's the recent one. The name is slipping my mind. I've seen Dunkirk. I've seen the Oppenheimer. I've seen that. Whatever his last one was, I don't think I've seen the most recent one. So I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, let's just say Oppenheimer. I don't know. I'll just say that. Figure Report's getting Artisan Moonlight. Very nice. Rena says that Joker's blowing her mind. I actually haven't seen Tenet. I know that's bad. I haven't seen Tenet. I need to watch it. That's the one that came out like in 2020, right during the pandemic, and nobody wanted to go to the theater, so I don't think I went to see it because usually I see all of his movies in the theater, but that's like the one that I missed. Allison says Joker looks much darker, more in the vein of how Heath portrayed him. You know what? I think there's something to that. Take a sip of my sweet and iced tea here. My grandma's recipe. Mary says, same for me. Painless experience. Very nice. Just reading through real quick. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Pico Obi-Wan says the Prestige is one of my favorites. Or sorry, that was Jason that said that. Top 5 films. Sorry to hear this, Chad. Lost one of my closest toy friends on Friday. Clone Wars and customizing brought us together. I'm very sorry to hear that. Sorry. Thoughts are with you, buddy. We got 45 in the house tuning in. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Here at Cantina Social Hour Wednesday. Come on, Victoria. It's getting towards the end of the week. I'm tired. I'm ready for the weekend. Thank you guys for being here. Genuinely appreciate you here on Cantina Social Hour. All right, we are going to take a Joker out of here. We're going to stick with 6 scale for a minute, so that I can talk about an event that I got to attend at San Diego Comic-Con, and then we'll get into the big one for me. There's a really big one, not the Gunship, but we'll get to that too. That's the other big one. Let me jump back to my Instagram so I can show you what I am about to tell you about. So last Friday at Comic-Con, Inart hosted a private event. It was a privately ticketed event, I guess would be more accurate. And they were kind enough to send me an invite. So I got to go preview some brand new Inart items. So I just want to show you guys really quick what I got to see. So their event was downtown San Diego, but it was just a little bit off site of the from the convention center. And I saw some pretty cool stuff. So we all know about the Superman, right? Which I haven't even talked about Superman. I did watch it, and I really liked it. I'm not ready to use the word love quite yet, but I feel like I'm getting there. I need to see it again. And of course, as you know, Hot Toys did their version, Inart did their version, and this is the one that I decided to pre-order. That was before I saw it in person. I got to see it in person, and I think it looks excellent. I think he looks really, really nice. Crypto is especially cool. He is very cool. He's a lot. I love Crypto. I love dogs. So, obviously, I love Crypto. But to see this in person fairly early on was pretty exciting for me. And it was really, it looked great. The costume, it's one of those that, I show you pictures of him, and, pictures are what they are. They're not great pictures. It was really dark in there, honestly, actually. But it looks better in person. He really looks better in person. The hair, everything. The one gripe that I have, you guys have probably seen it said, back here underneath his ear. I don't really like how his head extends down into his neck. I wish that the cut was made along the jawline and then along the ear and then into the hair. Because I don't like how that skin hangs down. To me, that's the weakest part of this figure, to be honest, in terms of the aesthetics. But it still looks great. There's my attempt at an iPhone a close-up of Crypto. Like I said, it was really dark in there. I was surprised how dark it was in this little area. So the way that it worked is you go in, and I got to see my friend Susan, who we've had here on Blue Susan, who we've had here on Sochar before. She used to work at Sideshow. She's doing different things. So she was hosting this event for Inart, and I got to hang out with her for a little bit, and it was really cool. And they gave us a free cocktail, or I don't know if it was free. We kind of sort of paid for it, and then they had some food and stuff, and then you go in a line, and then they had an area like in the back where they would only let a few people in at a time, and you would see all this stuff, because some of it had never been shown before publicly. So, and it was kind of dark. I was a little surprised. I saw another photographer who took his own ring light, and he was just he set it up the light and he was taking photos. That was pretty smart. The eyes closed head sculpt, I know this one's been a little controversial. It looks really nice. It looks good in person. I have no qualms about it. It looks good in person. He looks peaceful. I think a bloodied up sculpt would be interesting too. But this is just the beginning of this. This is just the beginning of this new DC universe, this new series of films. So we're gonna get another Superman. There's no way that we're not. They had the Harry Potter figures on display, Ron, Harry, and Hermione. And one thing that was really neat about these is the portraits. They have kind of that holographic effect. So if you move side to side, you see it changes, right? The portraits are pretty cool. First there'd be somebody in the portrait, then you move your head a little bit, and then they'd be gone. It was kind of a cool effect. The whole diorama looked pretty nice. Figures look great. I'm not buying them, but they look great. One what was interesting though is that they're going to continue the 6-inch scale, the 12th scale lineup of figures. So that's, you know, it's all DC. So they're going to do a 6-inch Robert Pattinson Batman. Looks awesome. Probably the best version in 6-inch. I'm sure it's going to be. It's Inart, right? They just released their Dark Knight Rises version. Prototype of Selena Kyle. Really nice walking pose. I'll look forward to seeing the painted version. The Henry Cavill Superman looked awesome. This is a 6-inch figure, you guys. Can you believe that? This is it looks like a 6 scale. No, it's not. It's a 12 scale 6-inch figure. It looks incredible. Definitely beats your old Mattel figure from 2013. And I would say it's even looks nicer than like Mesco 112 version. They did a really nice job. I'm probably gonna have to pick that up when the time comes. And then from there, they also had there's a close-up of him. Again, this is a 6-inch figure, you guys. Look at that. Imagine like growing up like in the 90s and being a collector and being told that one day your 6-inch figure was gonna look like this. To steal a phrase from my pal Aries. Come on. I mean, so good. So good. And then they had also the Batman from Batman v Superman to go along with him. Also really nice. Again, this is a 6-inch figure. This looks awesome. I'm probably gonna get these when the time comes. I'm probably gonna have to get these. I mean, these are really, really nice. These are really, really nice. I think that was maybe the last photo. Yeah. Oh, they also had the Inart Michael Jackson there, and they had Negan as well. They had both of those on display. I know this Michael Jackson has just started shipping fairly recently. But yeah, he looks great in person. I saw him in person at Comic-Con last year, so I was not surprised there. And I think that's a really good segue into our next topic. We're still going to focus on 6 scale. We're still talking about Inart. First, I need a sip of my grandma's recipe sweet and iced tea. All right, let's do it. All right, you guys. Other than the Gunship, this has been like the most exciting reveal for me in the last week. All right, so this is the Inart 1/6 scale Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal. I just showed you a glimpse at the one that just started shipping, the Dangerous Tour version. Like, I know I'm talking about Star Wars most of the time. I'm talking about Jurassic. I'm talking about Batman. But like, I'm a huge, and I know I've said it before. It's nothing new. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan ever since I was like in 3rd grade, and like I just like loved him. I used to watch all of his music videos and concert performances, like on VHS, of course, back in the day, like the Moonwalker VHS, and I had like the short films VHS, and the Making of Thriller VHS, and I would just watch those over and over, memorize his dance moves, and I can still do them. I don't do them very often anymore, but I could still do them, most of them anyway. Yeah, I was just captivated with him from a very early age, and my earliest memory of Michael Jackson was when I was 2 years old. My dad had me he was there. I remember distinctly the Bad music video short film was on TV. I don't know if it was MTV or what, but it was on TV. It was playing, and my dad had me by the wrists like this, and he was like spinning in circles and just swinging me around. That's my earliest Michael Jackson memory, and I've just adored Michael Jackson ever since then. He's absolutely one of my favorites. And you know, I'm excited to get my Inart, the first version, the concert tour version from Dangerous, but whenever they ask me to send the final payment, hopefully that's soon, because I know some people are getting it, some are not yet. But this version right here, this is the version that I'm even more excited about. All right, this is the Smooth Criminal version. They announced this pretty recently within the last couple of weeks, and they said it's going to go up for pre-order. Yeah, as soon as I was able to, I pre-ordered it. It was an expensive day. It was the same day that the Artisan Joker bank robber came out for pre-orders. It was not. It was one of those painful days. It kind of felt. It was, yeah. It was kind of brutal. It was kind of brutal. But yeah, I was very excited to do that. I kind of felt like this, like after I pre-ordered both of them, though.
What have I done?
But I did it happily, of course. So yeah, I cannot wait. 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 I mean, man, he looks so good. Like, I know the other one, having seen the other one in person, like, it's gorgeous. I would say that's maybe like I would say, I mean, I don't have it in person. From what I've seen, from when I have seen in person, I would say like it's a 9 out of 10. Like, looking at this one, these prototype photos, I would say this is like 10 out of 10. Like, it's not just because I would prefer this version of him, but it's also because it just looks incredible. I mean, the expression, just the like, I mean, it just looks like so like lifelike and realistic. And just being able to pose the eyes and take the hat off. I mean, so good. So good. Man. Man, I cannot wait. I also love how they posed some of these photos. Like, that's really cool. That's really cool. The tape on his fingers. She used to say was like to grab your attention so you could like look at his fingers. It's just so nice. And if you've ever seen, Smooth Criminal, absolutely one of my favorite Michael Jackson short films. But if you've ever watched, oh gosh, what's the name of the film? It was inspired by a Gene Kelly film. There's or Fred Astaire rather, a Fred Astaire film from the I think it was late 40s, early 50s. And if you look at that, it's very similar. Like when he walks in, like with the wearing the white suit with the white hat, even does some of the same dance moves. Like, so it was very heavily inspired by Fred Astaire. But yeah, these poses are nice. Like, I look at these and I mean, he had so many dance moves that like I have no idea how I'm gonna pose this. Like that looks straight out of the short film right there. I mean, so does this. That's a pretty cool pose. Yeah. But like the lighting on this, like imagine if you could recreate this lighting in your collection. Oh. I like how the bottom of the jacket has looks like it's got a wire so you can move it. The lean. I mean, you can even do the freaking lean with this, you guys. Like, that is sick. That is so cool. That is really cool. I get the song in my head every time I look at these pictures. So the price, $85 deposit, $337 due later. So $422 plus shipping. I mean, not cheap, but it's not very often that a company will do like an awesome looking Michael Jackson like figure, especially like a nice 6 scale figure like this. So I'm good with it. I don't have any of the old Hot Toys ones. I wish I did, but those are like before I started collecting Hot Toys, and they're very expensive. But like, this is just badass. This is fire. You get the microphone, you get the bass. I mean, the microphone looks good. I think he has to have that microphone because that was, he obviously used it in the short film. You even get the little like the shoes. And then the little bolts in the base to help him do the lean. Like, man, oh, look at all the hands. Like, again, I usually focus on Star Wars and all that, but I mean, I'm just huge MJ fan. Like this. Other than the gunship, to me, this was like the other like most exciting thing I've seen as far as like collectibles go. Definitely 6 scale. Like, if I have to cut out pre-orders in some other area and focus a little bit better, like I would 100% like let the Artisan bank robber Joker if I had to, like, or some of these other more secondary sort of characters. I would definitely like sacrifice them for Michael Jackson, of course. Man, he looks good, and I hope they don't stop here. I've heard it rumored that there's another one in development. I don't know what it's from. I really want to remember the time in art Michael Jackson. Like, that would be the one if I could pick one. But I would not hesitate like for any version of him. Like, I mean, come on. It could be, I know everybody wants the Thriller version, right? I mean, Beat It version would be great. Billie Jean, like Motown 25 performance would be great. You Rock My World short film, like that would be I'm sure the tailoring of that could be killer. Man, I mean, there's just so many that they could do that would look like fantastic. Like, I'm sure I could make a really long list and prioritize them. But I would honestly, like, 100%, like Inart, I would 100% any Michael Jackson you want to give me, I'm there. I'm not even gonna. It's not even a question. No hesitation. I'll sacrifice other things, but I'm gonna buy Michael Jackson. Man, so cool. Man, it just has, it's just, they really just capture the essence of him, like the personality, the essence, like it's just, man. We got Matt Drace with us. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Been a while. Who's making the 6-inch Cavill? So yeah, it's Inart. Inart is doing those. Riley Bob. Hey, Riley Bob says, I'm so in on Inart figures. Just got the Dark Knight Veil, incredible detail. I'm all in on the Batman for sure. Probably more. Annie, are you okay? I hope Annie's okay. Yeah, I agree, Dodgson. Smooth Criminal outfit is definitely one of his best. It's I would put that short film, like that music video, I would put in my top 5. I think it would be Smooth Criminal. Obviously Thriller would be in there. I think about this, like I've thought about this like a number of times, but it's kind of hard to. Black or White, I feel like would have to be in there. What else? Stranger in Moscow is pretty cool. Shoot. I mean, Beat It. God, there's so many though, because then I'm leaving out like The Way You Make Me Feel, I'm leaving out Bad, I'm leaving out Scream, leaving out Blood on the Dance Floor. Like, there's so many. Like, they could make like one of these a year for the next like 10 years, and I would buy them all. Riley Bob says, give me the Michael Jackson halftime Super Bowl outfit or Thriller. That's all I need. Those would be cool. Drop your favorite Michael Jackson song. That is a tough one. I think just by default I would probably say Billie Jean for me personally. But I mean, man, I mean, it's probably the one I listen to the most just because of the energy of it. But man, there would be others. I really love Will You Be There? Stranger in Moscow. I'd say those are probably my top 3. Dachin says, during the production of the This Is It concert, they were going to reimagine Smith Criminal with an opening with Michael interacting with 30s and 40 stars. Yes. I did see that in the in This Is It. You can see that. Brad says, my favorite is Human Nature. Johnson says Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth's house that she grew up in, well, I don't want to say grew up. Rita Hayworth's house that she lived in as a child for a few years is actually like a couple miles away from me. I honestly don't even think the people that live there know that Rita Hayworth lived there. Man, she's amazing. I love Rita Hayworth. That's another thing, you guys. Like, I want more 6-scale figures that focus on like people, like not just films, but like I imagine like this, but an Elvis Presley like 1967 comeback special. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like that would be, oh, man. Can you imagine like a Rita Hayworth? Can you imagine like a Cary Grant or Marilyn Monroe would be amazing, obviously. Like if there were more like 6-inch or sorry 12-inch 6-scale people, like real life musicians, there's very few of them out there. Like I would that's an avenue that I would maybe it's good they don't do that because I'd be spending too much money. Not that I already am not. You've been struck by a credit card debt. Mary says, I'd be tempted if they do a thriller version. Adam says, Michael has been gone over 15 years and the likeness is amazing. Back to my soapbox. The lack of a single acceptable Oscar Isaac likeness, at least until the new Poe and Moon Knight, is unforgivable. I hear you there. Yeah, Billie Jean is needed. Remember the Time is classic. Definitely the greatest entertainer, I would say. Jacob, hello. Yeah, that'd be the one. If I could pick just one, 100% Remember the Time. That would be the one. Ooh, Captain EO. Can you guys imagine if they did a Captain EO? Ooh, that would be awesome. Riley Bob says, Remember the Time, Man in the Mirror, Scream, Thriller, obviously. Lady in My Life. Yeah, that's a good one. That's an album cut. It was never released as a single, but it's really good. Hey, Jason, how's it going? Matt says Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Like an Aussie, like 6-scale figure, like an Inart quality. Oh, he's so good. The Beatles, Allison says. Sgt. Pepper era Beatles. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I want my Elvis Presley. I want my 1967 comeback special Elvis. That's what I want. If I could pick one Elvis, it'd be that. The leather suit. Heck yes. All right. We are going to switch gears. We're going to move into the last era, let's say, of tonight's show. If you're just tuning in, joining us, welcome. This is Victoria's Cantina Social Hour, Thursday night. We are moving into the last bit of reveals from San Diego Comic-Con 2025. And we are going to look at Star Wars. Let's go ahead and move over to my friends at Bantha Skull so we can use their photos and see what they got. So there were a number of things revealed at Hasbro this year, as well as, of course, the panel. They announced some more stuff. We're going to save the Gunship for last. We'll come back to the Gunship. Let's start off with. I want to start off with the Black Series. We'll go back to TVC because there's quite a bit. Let's just start at the bottom and work our way up. The Stranger, Chimere, is finally coming to Black Series. I used to be all in on Black Series back in 2013, 2014, into 2015 when the line started. This channel was one of the very first channels to review Black Series figures back in 2013, if not the first. So it was a big focus of mine back in the day. that our friend John Miko? He's just in time for his favorite line, Star Wars The Black Series. Love it. How's it going, pal? Yeah, I think this is a good one. There were like the reception in the room when they announced this one was pretty big. People like this character, whether or not they love the Acolyte as a series. People really like this character. Can't say I blame them. He's pretty cool. The actor's amazing. But yeah, he looks really, really good. Lightness is good. Got some like grime and dirt on his arms. Soft goods, lower tunic. Got the removable plastic upper poncho. The cortosis helmet and gauntlet, and then the two lightsabers. They did note in the panel that the helmet is they painted it based on how they did the wearable Black Series helmet. So it does look really nice. It's got like a metallic quality to it. It's a really nice looking figure. I pre-ordered it, and I'm glad I did because it actually is. I think GameStop's the only place that still has it up for pre-order. So I mean, if that doesn't, I mean, Black Series figures very rarely, like pre-orders very rarely sell out. This guy sold out everywhere except GameStop because he went up late on GameStop. So I think that's a testament to how well this might potentially do in TVC. The lightsabers are neat. They did note, if you look at the helmet, they did note that the neck is black on the helmet because in the film he was wearing or in the show he was wearing like a covering like on his face that covered his neck. And that's why they did that. But the interchangeable head route is definitely the route I would have wanted. So he does look good. I'm glad they're doing him. So there's a convention exclusive. I think this is fall convention exclusive. 2-pack that has Chancellor Palpatine and Mace Windu. I did see this in the Haslab booth, and it does look nice. I'm a little on the fence, though. I mean, I kind of want it, but I'm a little on the fence on the soft goods because if you go back to that scene and you watch it, like he's actually like this outfit is very detailed. It's very, very detailed. It's ornate. Like just the stitching and I mean, it looks like something out of Andor, like the outfit he's wearing in this scene. But when you look at the figure, it just looks like pretty simplistic soft goods. Like there's not a whole lot of detailing to it. So yeah, it is interesting, but it does look. The lightness is nice. You do get the interchangeable, like evil Emperor Darth Sidious sculpt, which looks okay. Of course, you're also getting as part of the set the lightning. They did mention that the sculpts for the lightning are brand new sculpts. It's just something that was mentioned. So I'm just passing it along. And you get your Mace Windu, which has a new head sculpt, angry head sculpt. So, I mean, Mace isn't really anything new. He does have both the old head sculpt and the new one. But other than that, it's the same figure from before. So, I mean, really the selling point here is going to be Darth Sidious. So you can reenact moments like this. Look at Mace. He's like this one right here. Look at Mace. If I could only keep this picture up. I don't know why I can't keep that picture up. Oh, that's pretty cool right there. Anyway, these pictures aren't cooperating with me. So let's see. Jango Fett. They mentioned that this is 100% brand new sculpt, which, you know, I get it. It kind of needed to be, because the old one was from like a decade ago. So that's pretty nice that they did that. I will say, I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to say it. In TVC, it was a deluxe figure. We had to pay more for it. Black Series, it's not a deluxe figure. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it looks nice. It looks nice. The likeness looks really nice on him, actually. It's a better likeness than what we got on the TVC version, because I think the TVC version was just a clone, wasn't it, that they repainted? Like, this one actually has the correct hair. It's got the scars. I think the TVC one was kind of missing some of those details. Looks nice. And I think the helmet is I can't remember if that was a helmet or a head. I think it's just a helmet, because I don't see another. I think it was just a helmet. Other than that, so you guys know the exclusive that they had there for Anakin and Obi-Wan for Revenge of the Sith, dueling on Mustafar. So they mentioned that that's a thing they're going to continue. It's like a new like sub series of the Black Series. And this is a brand new 100% new Luke Skywalker from Bespin. And the point of these is to do 2 packs that have a little bit more displayability. So there's more, you get the display base, which is basically, Cloud City. So it's nice. The Darth Vader is the same Darth Vader from before. They mentioned that now he's got a wired cape. So if you're buying this set, you're really just buying it for Luke, and the diorama base. It's a nice looking Luke. I'd have a hard time. I'd have a hard time believing that this wasn't coming into the main line at some point. So if you skipped it, I don't think you'd be missing out on much. Yeah, I forgot the name of it. There is a name for it or something. I forgot what the name was, but there is a name for this lineup. Let's see. Asajj Ventress. This one actually, like of all the Black Series that they announced, this one actually got the biggest reception in the room. And I reacted to it as well. I think it looks really cool. Of course, I want one in TVC, but I'll probably get this because I like Ventress a lot. And the outfit just looks really cool. Bounty Hunter outfit. The armor's nice. Lightsabers are good. Always good to see Ventress. And it's been a while since they've done her in the Black Series. I think the last one was like 3 years ago or something. But it is a really nice figure. It is a really nice figure. After that, this one's kind of boring. I mean, I'm not boring, but just not exciting, I guess. So 2-pack with Anakin and Captain Rex. Anakin, I think, is like I don't know if it's partly new. Something, it might be the head sculpt that was new, but it's based on the Ahsoka figure, which just came out fairly recently. Unfortunately, this Captain Rex is the old Captain Rex from like 2016 or 2017. I think 2017. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like late 2017. I don't know why they didn't use the new body. Very odd. Yeah, I have no, yeah. So it's just, I mean, if you want that set because you like the characters, then cool. But I mean, there's really not that much to warrant buying this one. All right. Is that all the Black Series? Did I get them all? Yes. Okay, let's move on to TVC. Star Wars, the Vintage Collection. Okay, so this one was revealed during preview night. This is the Jedi Spirits set. Very exciting set. This is the kind of thing that this is the kind of TVC item that I live for as a Star Wars nerd. Like the Cantina creature set that's coming out, like, yes, that's totally in my arena. That's totally my thing. This is also totally my thing. And I was actually kind of surprised that for this one to be announced, because I mean, we know that they have like the new Obi-Wan sculpt. So it's easy fairly easy for them to do this. The Yoda, I think, is the older figure from several years back now. So not necessarily the greatest of all time figure, but as a spirit, I think he's fine. And then of course Anakin, like I think Anakin having the two portraits is like the most unexpected and also surprising and coolest thing about this set. I mean, growing up, it was Sebastian Shaw. Like he was the grown up Anakin. But as a prequels kid, if you will, these pictures do not want to cooperate. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, as a prequels kid, I kind of feel like I would display it with Hayden's head on it. That's just me. But I mean, this one looks excellent. Like he looks happy. He's smiling just like he was in the film. Like that's one thing I will say. Because I know that they really have, when they put Hayden's head on it, it was just like an afterthought, and Hayden didn't even know that's what it was for. It was just like a moment from Revenge of the Sith, like footage that they took his head and put it. Like Hayden had no idea they were going to do that. When you see it with Sebastian Shaw, it's more purposeful. Like he knows that he's there. He's smiling on his son. He looks proud. He looks like you don't even need to know. Like there's no mystery who it was. Like it's obviously it's Anakin, right? So I will say that's a better performance because it is the Hayden the way. I mean, I like seeing Hayden as I think it's a positive change, but I'm not a huge fan of the performance because, again, Hayden did not know that that's what they were going to do. I think had he known, the execution would have been better. I wish he would have known. I don't know why. Again, an afterthought. Like they were like, I think George Lucas, we all love George Lucas, but I think it's just one of those things where he was like, we just saw Revenge of the Sith. Why don't we take his head from some moment in the film or some deleted footage and insert it over Sebastian Shaw. Yeah. So it's both of them work. I mean, I would probably just play it. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably alternate. I would probably alternate. But yeah, it looks really good. I really like the portrait here. As far as the Anakin portrait, do I have a picture of that? Or the Anakin portrait, the younger Anakin portrait. I don't see a picture of it here. Here's Obi-Wan. This is the new sculpt that we've been begging and dreaming about. He's not smiling. Why is he not smiling? He should be smiling too. He was smiling in that scene. Yoda was the only one not smiling. Obi-Wan should be smiling. I'm gonna knock this down like a half point for not having a smiling portrait. See, it looks weird with Yoda and Obi-Wan being serious, but Anakin is like happy. Yeah. Yoda looks good. Again, it's not the greatest figure of all time, but it looks good. It works for a set like this. To me, Yoda actually looks the least ghostly in this set. Is it because he's green? I don't know. Either way, I am elated for this set. There you go. The actual portrait on him in the box is the Hayden head, who is also, I don't know, is he smiling? He's kind of smiling. I mean, I saw it in person. Was he smiling? I don't remember. In this picture, it looks like there's like the slightest hint of a grin, which he was grinning in that moment. Again, he didn't know that that's what it was being used for, but there is like the slightest hint of a grin, which I guess is okay. It was kind of a creepy grin in the actual final product, but you know, for this set, it's fine. It works. Let's move on to the I love Return of the Jedi. Let's move on to the Imperial Shock Trooper. I don't know why they're sourcing a lot of these to the Clone Wars. If you look at the picture, he doesn't even have the helmet stripe. That's often that has been missing in the past from several releases going back probably 15 years off and on. I mean, this makes sense. I like the Shock Troopers a lot. I would say next to the 501st, like these are my favorite clone troopers just because they look cool. You get the two guns, which is nice. I really like the light blue, but it like for the name pill in the background, but it very much feels Clone Wars. I know they did a Revenge of the Sith. I would have preferred a Revenge of the Sith alternate card, though. I also don't know if they've tweaked the paint apps, but the helmet on this looks a lot better than the 501st did. Like, I wonder if is it like something, I don't know, something about like it just looks more crisp. It looks a little cleaner. So I wonder if they dialed in the process of painting those helmets a little bit more. I don't know about you guys, but these kind of poses are always really hard for me to do. Like the kneeling pose, I have a very hard time doing those. They always fall. I probably just not very good at doing them, but like when I try putting figures in this pose, like usually they fall. They don't last very long in that position. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but kind of a weird photo too, though he's holding the gun. But I'm excited about this figure. I pre-ordered a case of them because I like my clones. And remember, the gunship's coming. Well, we hope the gunship's coming. If you go back to the Mandalorian season 3, these guys here are piloting the gunship in Mandalorian season 3. They're also in the inside the gunship as passengers. So if the gunship does fund, or if you want to back another gunship, you could do the Mandalorian version, which would be pretty cool. I'm not going to do it, but you could do it. Options, right? We like options. So yeah, nothing like remarkable there, but I am happy. I'm always happy to see like a film-based clone. Film-based clone. I know they like to do a bunch of these random ones, like the what is the yellow and black one, the Umbara clone, and some of the random Battlefront ones. Like those are okay, but I want to see more like from the actual Revenge of the Sith. I want more of those. Those are the ones that I want. Okay, so let's move on to OT. Chewbacca, alternate card back, because he has been released in TVC within the last few years. Yeah, this one is. I'm not even going to talk about the figure yet. Let me talk about the card first. I love this. I love this picture. I really, really love the picture. You can tell there's a little bit of editing going on there, or he's standing in front of the matte painting of the Falcon or something. But I mean, it definitely looks a little odd. But I love the photo. Chewbacca himself is kind of a weird one. Kind of a weird one for a few different reasons. I guess the biggest thing I would say is that it's not 100% brand new tooled sculpt. I know Chewbacca is not a human character like Han Solo or Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia, but he's still Chewbacca. He still 100% deserved a new sculpt, 100% from the ground up. I find it a little frustrating that they didn't do that. It's kind of like the battle droid. You guys know how they recently did that battle droid set where half the body's new and half is not. Like, to me, I find that like more frustrating and less exciting for a new release. And even though they change the legs on the battle droids, they fall off the shelf all the time. I finally took them off the shelf. I know the legs are supposed to be a little bit better, and maybe they are, but I got tired of them falling off the shelf, and they're only a few weeks old, so they're not even on the shelf anymore. I took them off. So Chewbacca here should definitely have gotten a little bit more love than this. The legs look great. He's going to be able to do, you know, the wide stances, which is the older ones were never able to do before. But this one, can you imagine if he had the new? I mean, maybe he didn't. I don't want to say that he didn't need new shoulders and all that, because he really needs like ball hinge wrists, right? But can you imagine, like, if this were 100% brand new, how extra awesome it would be? I think on paper, I understand what their intent was in terms of saying like that, you know, he kind of scratched all the boxes, he ticked all the boxes. But Chewie needs to be all new. Maybe it'll happen at some point. This was the time for it to happen. And it didn't happen. So I'm a little frustrated with this one. Is it going to be better than any Chewie that I have currently? Yes, of course. Could he have been better? That's where my, as a collector, that's kind of where my frustration lies. Like, could he have been better with just a little bit more effort? He could have been way better with just a little bit more effort. So that's where I am with Chewie. Also, I'm not big on the head sculpt. For the Cantina, I would have preferred just a closed mouth head sculpt, like they did with the early bird set back in 2005. To me, that was like probably the best like Chewbacca they've done up until this one, anyway. I would have preferred that. I think it would work better for like the Cantina. I also thought it looked like the Black Series 3 3/4 head sculpt, but they said it was an all new head sculpt, so that's probably the case. All right. Han Solo. Make the mains. Here they are. Here's Han. I love seeing this card back. My favorite Star Wars 3 3/4 inch figures are A New Hope. Just like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia Organa, Darth Vader, like the classics, those are my favorite Star Wars figures. I mean, I love my Cantina figures probably more, but as far as the main characters go, like these versions of them for me are like definitive. Like these are like the ultimate versions of these characters. So I hold these to a very, 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 very high standard. Luke Skywalker was pretty phenomenal. I don't think he was a perfect 10. I think he was probably like a 9.5. Princess Leia, I you know, a little hindered by the lower robes, probably 9.5. Darth Vader, probably a 10. Other than 9.5, because his cape is a little much. It's a little too much material there. Ben Kenobi remains to be seen. Chewbacca, probably going to be like an 8 because he's not all new. Han still has a chance because I haven't gone to. I've seen him in person. He looks amazing. I have not gotten to to handle one and pose him and such. So let's talk about the figure. If we go by aesthetics here in this photo, I would say he's not quite a 10 out of 10 either. I would say he's more like a 9 out of 10. Again, going off of this photo. I'm going to tell you something in a minute about this figure, though, that might change that. Looking at this photo right here, this singular photo. Oops, where'd it go? I think the hair looks a little too poofy on the sides. I think it looks a little bit too poofy on the sides. Not awful, but just a little bit kind of like he missed a haircut. Like maybe this is like a month after A New Hope. The face, in this photo, it does not look a whole lot like Han Solo. It looks a little like my dad, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, it kind of looks like my dad. Um, this angle, no, I'm not really seeing Han there. I'm seeing my dad, which is kind of weird. This angle, slightly better. Slightly better. Maybe it's the hair that's kind of throwing it off. Look at the hand though, like the left hand, like seeing that joint like there, like, oh. You guys know what's standing out to me though is the kinkle wrists. You guys remember the Star Wars, or not the Star Wars, the Jurassic World Hammond collection, um, like the Ian Malcolm and the Alan Grant. They had what I call kinkle wrists, those really wide wrists. This guy has kinkle wrists. There's no getting around it. This guy has kinkle wrists. If you take away the head, which sounds horrible, if you take away the head, the torso looks great. Like the vest looks awesome. Shirt, the color of the shirt looks good. His belt looks nice. Pants look pretty nice. They look a little bit light in color, but I know they did that with the Black Series figure too. Boots look nice. I like the glossy aspect of the boots. The crotch area looks a little weird. But I mean, that's par for the course. This is an action figure. And if you want the bells and whistles of articulation, I mean, things like that are going to happen. So I can't hold it against the figure. What I'm kind of not, I'm not sure why he's in this pose, because this pose was Return of the Jedi. Those wrists are just standing out to me. Left wrist, right wrist, they're both like, this is a case where I would have been okay with them making a concession, even if it's not 100% screen accurate, and pulling the sleeves down a little bit more to cover the wrists. Maybe not 100% screen accurate, but they managed okay with some of the older Han Solo figures. I can't unsee those wrists in these photos. And I don't mean to be harsh on the figure. I'm going off of what I'm seeing in the photos here, which is all we can really go off of. Like the head from this angle looks a little weird. He looks a little bit weird. Kinkle wrists. Okay, so this is what I was gonna say. That might change things for me. I saw this in person, and all of the issues I'm having with the figure never crossed my mind when I saw it in person. And that's a great thing, because when we scrutinize these on a blown up screen and we see them in detail, you're not going to necessarily perceive when they're in hand. You're going to see some of those imperfections. You're going to see some of those inconsistencies. That doesn't mean that they're not there when you get the actual figure. It just means that they're less noticeable. When I saw this at Comic-Con, I thought it looked great. I would have said, oh yeah, 10 out of 10. Now that I look at it a little bit more on these high res images, you see some of those imperfections. It looks like a solid figure, but he does fall short, mostly because I think the head and the hair and the kinkle wrists. I think for me, those are the biggest gripes that I have. Looks like Tim Allen. Kind of does. Yeah. Tapered wrists, Lorena. You are right. Tapered wrists. He looked fine in person. I'm sure when I get him in person, I'm going to be a little less critical, but there's no doubt that there are a couple issues there that keep this from being a 10 out of 10, which is what we want when we're talking about the original 96, when we're talking about A New Hope in the 50th anniversary of New Hope, which is coming in a couple of years. We want that perfection. We want these main characters to be 10s out of 10s. And it's interesting because you look at some of the other more recent figures, like the Rebels figures or the Acolyte figures, and like the wrists thing wasn't really like a big, it wasn't really like as much of a thing with them. Maybe they had to some extent. I just haven't looked at them under blown up photos lately, but they are definitely there in these photos. But again, it did look better in person. So yeah, that's Han Solo. And I guess that then takes us to. I guess that takes us to the Haslab. Are we going to talk the Haslab now? Have we finally gotten to that point in the show? After almost 2 hours where we're barely going to start touching on the Haslab? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I still have the Inart banner going. Oh my goodness. I'm all right, there we go. Fixed. Finally. Late, but fixed. We got 62 in the house. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. Very happy to see you guys. Thank you for joining. Here it is. The moment you've been waiting for. We're going to talk about the Haslab. All right. The Republic Gunship. Am I surprised that the Haslab is the Republic Gunship? A little bit. I know I've been vocal about it. I felt previously like Haslab should be things that we do not have. That doesn't mean we can't get better versions of things that we have. I mean, the new and New Hope mains are better versions than any of those versions that we've had in the past. But Haslab, so far we've had the Sail Barge Dream Project, the Razor Crest, really cool. I mean, it was new, right? When they made it, it was just it wasn't like a long thing people have been asking for a long time, but it's awesome. The Ghost, for a lot of people that was a dream project because it had never been done before, and it's huge, and it tied into something that had been that TVC collectors and fans of Rebels in particular had been starved of, which was quality Rebels product in the vintage collection. And then the Cantina, which speaks to people like me who just adore all things Cantina. Kind of sort of a dream project, right? Because that's not really the kind of thing you would have seen in stores in that capacity. The Gunship is the first TVC Haslab where it's actually something being remade, something that does exist in our collections. Granted, it's not anything that is by 2025 standards perfect, and certainly does not meet 2025 standards of that collectors have for the vintage collection. So I mean, me personally, I've been wanting a Death Star for a long time. I know a lot of folks have. I feel like that could be a dream project, like the Sail Barge. I think the Sail Barge for me personally is still the best Haslab. Not just because it was the first, but because it is like just in terms of it's just the most sheer impressive like vehicle in my whole collection, and I've got them all basically. That is just the most. I'm looking at it. That is just the most amazing piece of plastic in this room, probably. I adore the Republic Gunship. I adore the Republic Gunship. It is my favorite thing out of vehicle from the prequels. I adored it in 2002. And I have every single repaint version of it, except for the first TVC version, because as you guys may remember, some of you, it turned to got really sticky. It started melting over time. So I sold it. That was the best version in terms of everything that it came with, but because the plastic was melting, it's like it wasn't. I couldn't keep it. It wasn't doing it for me. So the best version I probably have is the 2002 version, which I did buy the Legacy Collection ball turrets. I have 2 of those on there. So for a while, it's been fine. Like I look at it and it's like I'm pretty satisfied with the Gunship until I saw the Haslab Republic Gunship in person. Now I look at my Republic Gunship and I'm like, I cannot wait to replace you with the Haslab Gunship if it funds. It just looks so inferior now that I've seen that other one in person. I mean, I have the 2002 one up there on the shelf. I have the Clone Wars Micro Series, the Tartakovsky series version over there on the shelf with one of the wings off, which you can display the new one, the Haslab, with one of the wings off, which is nice. and they look great. I'm very happy with them. But now that I know what I could potentially have, I really want this gunship to fund. Prior to having seen this in person, I probably would have still said that, I prefer the Death Star, and maybe I do. But this gunship, like the Razor Crest, like the Ghost, maybe like the Cantina, even though the Cantina is not a vehicle, this new gunship has centerpiece level potential in it. And I think that's one of the things that for me, the photos are not conveying, is the sheer impressive, realistic quality, the detailed quality, and the sheer scale that this gunship actually has. I don't think the photos are conveying that, because when we see that, we think in our heads the old gunship, right? We envision it being about that size. It is way bigger than those old gunships. It is way bigger than those gunships. I think Chris Reif from Hasbro told me it's like 23% bigger. So almost a quarter bigger. When you're talking about scale for items, I want you to think about the difference in scale between a 3¾ inch figure, a 6-inch figure, let's say a 9-inch figure, and then a 12-inch figure. A 9-inch scale, let's imagine in your head a 9-inch scale Batman figure or a Darth Vader standing next to a 12-inch scale Batman or Darth Vader. Or look around your own collection and look for different things in those different scales. Like it is huge. It is a very, very girthy vehicle. In terms of the length, it's almost as long as the Razor Crest, but what it has is the width. With both wings on, it's probably like almost twice as wide as the Razor Crest. It is huge. This vehicle is incredibly impressive in person, and to me, I feel a little sad, I guess, that the pictures that Hasbro has shared, and it's nothing that Hasbro did. It's nothing that anybody did. It's just when we think of Republic Gunship, our minds go to what we have, and we're making that comparison with the Haslab. And it's hard to do that because the Republic Gunship already exists in our collections. If it didn't, then it would be a blank slate, and we wouldn't be talking about that comparison. It's like the Sail Barge or the Razor Crest. Like you have nothing to compare it to, so you just imagine it's big. The gunship is freaking huge, and it is absolutely going to be, if it funds, a centerpiece of any collection, of any Star Wars TVC 3¼ inch collection. Certainly the centerpiece and anchor for any prequel sort of displays that you have going on. So I would say that it is a dream project. There's no way that something like this would be available at retail. There's no way that something like the gunship would be feasible through any other means than a Haslab. What I want to do now is go ahead and take a look at some pictures of it. I'm going to jump back to Bantha Skull, and we're going to see the PR images that were sent out. All right, so this is this right here is everything that is included with the offering as it stands, without stretch goals. And oh, there's my friend Ken. Hey Ken, how's it going? Good to see you. These right here this is everything that's included with the vehicle. You get the gunship itself with the ball turrets, which are removable, and you also get okay, for me personally, because I'm a nerd, this is what really makes the gunship for me, is all these interchangeable pieces. You get the like the front pieces. You get the service with a smile, which has like the Kid Fisto on the rocket. You get the crumb bomber. You get the little doors that cover up the little entry points behind the bubble turrets, and then you also get the bay doors add-ons that make it the completely closed gunship, like in the Clone Wars. And I told Hasbro, like, that's what makes this for me, person as a nerd, as a Star Wars nerd, is all those pieces. You get a bunch of like little missiles and stuff that clip in there, and then you get the 2 clones. I do want to commend Hasbro on including one clone that is carded and one that is loose, because if you've been following, like the Disney Star Tour Star Speeder 3000 that came out last year, they included a carded Captain Rex from Star Tours, the droid, and then also a loose one. So Hasbro did that here too. They included one carded, one loose. Of course, you need 2 pilots, so it's still kind of a little bit of a frustrating situation, but I do commend them on at least doing that. Maybe there'll be a way to get this figure later if this funds. So you don't have to open your other one. And then the display bases. So 2 options for the bases. You get the elevated base, which is kind of like the one that came with the Razor Crest. Then you get the smaller base, which kind of just hovers it slightly off the ground. I like having options. If you just want to sit it on the shelf too, you could do that without the base. You don't need them. These are the clone pilots. They are the most screen accurate clone pilots that Hasbro has ever made. They are based on the new clone body, but they have helmets that look very, very, very screen accurate. So they are very cool. They may not be as compelling as what came with the Ghost, right? Like the Rebels or the Tonica sisters. Like, I mean, to me, those are a lot more compelling than clone pilots. But you kind of need these to be the pack-ins, right? Because I mean, who's gonna fly the ship? I mean, I guess you could get your shock troopers to do it, like in Mandalorian season 3. Here's an image of it on the base. Now, Hasbro did not have the bases, as far as I can recall, at Comic-Con. They kind of just had it resting on the table. But that's one thing you could do. You could have it in this like dynamic, like kind of at an angle, sort of traveling. Looking inside, one of the details I always noticed was missing from the old gunship was this little black thing that the clones would grab onto so that they wouldn't fall. That like black plastic basket or whatever it is. You see them grabbing onto it, especially in the Clone Wars. They're like grabbing onto it like that. That was not in the old gunship. So I am happy to see that there. Also, the back door opens on this gunship. That was not a feature on the previous gunships. The turrets also can rotate better. The front turrets right here, they rotate a lot better than on the old gunship. I've had a few folks ask me about the detailing on this one. In the photos, it looks a little bit cleaner than it did in person. I think one of the things that the gunship has going for it is that if you look at these panels, some of them are like dark gray, some are like silver, some are white, some are like there's different like shades, right? Even here on the doors that swing open, right? Like you see different shades of gray, so to speak. I think that helps give this vehicle depth. You definitely get a little more dimension. You definitely get a little bit more depth with it. It looks really nice. It looks really, really nice. Hasbro did say during the panel, here are the dimensions. They did say that this is based, I guess Lucasfilm not redesigned, but updated the model for the gunship when they did season 3 of The Mandalorian. These photos are driving me nuts. When they're right there. 28.74 inches long, 10.61 inches high, and 30.91 inches wide. Like I was telling you guys, like that's where it has the most girth, is like the width. It's huge, freaking huge. It's almost 3 feet, right? You're like 5 inches away from 3 feet. Like that's freaking big. That's why I really appreciate that one of the wings comes off, because I don't know that I'd have the space to display it with both wings on. Anyway, Hasbro did mention during the panel that Lucasfilm updated the model for Mandalorian season 3, and that's what this one is based off of. Is that most up to date model? So, like the inside of the cockpit, for example, that is based off what it looked like in Mandalorian season 3. Even though we don't really see it too well, it's just very brief. I think we only get like a quick shot of the shock trooper in there. That's where that was the source material for that. So it's way more detailed than the old Gunship. Obviously, the old Gunship, the figures barely fit. It was like a really tight squeeze to get them in there, and sometimes they're really hard to get out. Like this is a little. They're going to be a lot more comfortable in here. The turrets look really nice. They look way better than the old ones. The old ones were, kind of like, on mine at least, the plastic was not like super clear. It was kind of foggy. And then the turrets would weigh, like the weight of them would, with the figures in there, especially, would like, they get weighed down. They kind of point at an angle instead of straight. And here's the comparison. Here's the comparison with the old one. And again, it's very hard to convey this in an image, but having been up close and personal with the Gunship, I can tell you, like, the new one is really big. It's massive. This back door is really cool. I like having that back door. I don't remember if we saw that in Clone Wars or not, but it'll make it more accessible if you're putting your clones in there. If you look at that image there, you can even seat them. There's like a chair, a double chair, where you can seat a couple of your clones. And then at the very front, let me see, there's an image here of it. They added a little medical bay. I don't see an image of it here. But there's an area in the front on both sides where you can interchange these panels. On this left-hand side of the Gunship, there's a medical bay in there. I think you could see it in the video. But it's not, I don't see it in these pictures. There's the display bases again. This is how the bubble turrets open. If you have the old bubble turrets, you know how hard they are to get figures in there, especially if you want to try and get them to hold on to the controls. It's very, very challenging. So this gives them a little bit more space to breathe. And then here's the back. The back has some really nice detail that the older Gunships lack, which, like, this yellow and blue detail. You also don't have that ridiculous, like, black string in the back that some of the old ones had. And the doors do swing open, kind of similar to the way the old Gunship did. Like, they have that kind of like almost like mechanical sort of opening. Oops. So yeah, those are all the images here. This is where you can connect the missiles on the bottom. Another feature the old Gunship had. What I want to do is jump over to Haslab and see let's take a look and see how it's doing. First, I want to take a quick gander into the comments. It's been a while. Adam says it's true that Luke looks much better in person. VOTC Han is pretty good. VOTC Han is not bad. By today's standards, he's outdated, obviously. But I would say that up until this new one that's coming, that's probably been the best one for the last 21 years, which is kind of funny. Let's see here. Little Pookie's with us. What's up? The Outrider. Outrider, who knows? Let's see here. Nicholas says this Haslab particularly appeals to clone fanatics. So I'm surprised the tiers aren't unique clones or even 3-4 packs. Yeah, we haven't even talked about the tiers yet. Adam says, I'm curious to know what Steve Evans meant when he said that he's working on something that maybe more proud of than he is of the barge. Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you that I asked him to do the Tonica Sisters and Retro Collection because I'm a nerd. So you backed 4 of them? I backed 1 of them. I backed 1 Gunship. I may back a second. I'm not sure, but I did back 1. Would people be saying the same things if this was an ATTE? Man, an ATTE would be incredible, but I can guarantee you one thing: there's not going to be an ATTE if the Gunship doesn't fund. Lots of comments. I love seeing the conversation. Ken says, looks amazing, but the timing on this one for me is awful. And so many pre-orders are hitting as the outlay for this will be coming due. It's just a perfect storm. Too much too quickly. Yeah, I get that. I have heard that from a couple of people, Ken. It's not just you. Expensive times, not just toys, but like in general, things are very expensive right now. Things are going up in price still, and I know there's some economic uncertainty. Yeah, I can't fault folks for that have that concern, and reasoning is not backing this or any other Haslab. Adam says this is too important. This is too important to the Geonosis theme to fail. We will see what happens with Arliel Schus. That will give us an indication of whether failed tiers will get folded into the running theme. I mean, there are so many Jedi in the prequels. My guess, this is just a guess, is that if the Gunship doesn't fund, I don't think we would get those Jedi, unfortunately. I think we might get other Jedi. I don't think we would get those Jedi, which we kind of need because they're important, right? I mean, it's AC-10. Come on. Ian Kolar. Yeah. Coleman Trebor. Coleman Trebor is definitely that's an Attack of the Clones centric figure as far as Jedi go. And the other 2, you need them if you're reenacting the arrest of Chancellor Palpatine. So one thing I do wonder is if the Gunship were Revenge of the Sith labeled and not Attack of the Clones. Like if the focus was Revenge of the Sith instead of Attack of the Clones. I wonder how it would be perceived differently or not. Let's see here. Andrew agrees that the timing is not ideal. Understandable. Brandon says, I guess I want to army build gunships and not make them my centerpiece. Yeah, that's a valid point as well. There are plenty of them out there. There's many. And Epic Pie says, I already backed 1. Nice. All right. All right, let's go to move on. We're going to go over to Haslab and see. So many comments. I wish I could get through them all. There's tons of comments. Let's go to Haslab and see how it's doing right now. Okay, so we are on the Haslab Pulse website for Haslab. There are 39 days. Let me refresh this actually. 39 days and 0 hours, 40 minutes, 3 seconds. Currently, the Republic Gunship is at 2,691 backers with a target of 8,000, 0 out of 3 tiers unlocked. I think this morning, like early this morning, it did cross over the 2,600 mark, so it hasn't made a lot of progress over the course of the day. Obviously there's a ways to go before this. Am I on the Europe website? How weird! I didn't even realize that. I'm still on the Europe website. What gives? I blame Tim from Bosk's Bounty. He must have hacked me or something. All right, here we go. I mean, I don't know that it even matters for something like this, but well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the stats are the same, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry, I know I'm saying a lot. Been a long day. I've been talking all day at work. The stretch goals: 10,000 backers to get Coleman Trevor, 12,000 to get Stacey Tin, and 14,000 to get Agan Kolar. Agan Kolar, I get confused with him because I know there's also Eth Koth. I know Hasbro made a figure of Eth Koth back in the Power of the Jedi. Eth Koth had a green lightsaber, like Agan Kolar does in Attack of the Clones. But then Agan Kolar is a blue lightsaber, I believe, in Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, there's a way to go to get these. I will say, because I didn't mention it earlier, that these Jedi, we've already seen the clones. We've gone over the details. The Jedi figures themselves, you guys, if you go watch my Q&A video with Hasbro, like you can see them pretty well. They are incredible. They 100% exceed any Jedi we've ever gotten. I mean, just in terms of the sheer level of accuracy, the sculpting, the realism, they're phenomenal. And that goes for all of them. They all look really good. Even the soft goods are like a unique quality. So man, it's a tough one, right? Because I really want these figures. I mean, I love Jedi figures, but I am a little bit nervous. Like seeing where it is right now, seeing where it needs to go to get all 3 of these. There will be the big, the end, the backing at the end that we always see. But will it be enough to get this funded? But more than that, to get all 3 of these tiers unlocked. That I don't know. That I do not know. I do want to say. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, hi, Howrunner Base. Interesting. A payment plan would have been fantastic. I mean, the thing is, with the Haslab, they need the money up front to put into production. So it probably wouldn't work, but would be interesting. Good point, Adam. I'm excited to see this as a potential new trajectory to Haslab funding. I want it to surprise us so that not everything feels so predictable. If that, I mean, that could very well be. We don't know exactly how this is going to play out. It could be a unique trajectory. So I guess let me end this by reiterating my stance that because we have an old gunship, we have something to compare hypothetical Haslab gunship to. And that, I think that in a lot of people's eyes, there's like an instant, this is just my theory, that there's like a mental, a bit of a mental block, a natural mental block to visualizing within our minds, like the potential of an update to that gunship. It's like if Hasbro said the next Haslab is it, you know, if theoretically if the next Haslab was an X-wing, you know, some might wonder like, well, how can it be much bigger than the X-wings that we have? I mean, it's just like I think there's just a bit of a block that we naturally have there. That, but having seen it in person, especially if you're a prequels kid or you love the clone, the Grand Army of the Republic, clones, all that. Like this is easily a centerpiece for the collection. It is a remarkably gorgeous, highly detailed piece that is leagues beyond, far beyond the existing gunship. I truly hope it funds. I backed one. I may back another. I really was blown away by seeing it in person. I think more people may have been excited for the Ghost, just because because it was like I said earlier, it was territory that TVC had never explored. We didn't have any rebels at that point. Now we have a few. Now we just got Agent Callus. We just got Zeb within the last year or so, year and change. It was unexplored territory. It's kind of like if they said the next Haslab is this isn't a great example, but like Solo, a Star Wars story, Millennium Falcon, which I would love. I would love that. But with Kira and with another, a new Han Solo, like, something like that. And L33, I don't even know her number. L3. Like that would be cool because it's unexplored, like, territory. I mean, all I can really say, I guess, is this gunship is super huge and super detailed, super impressive. Where there's panel lining on the old ones, this new one has like carved out details with greeblies and everything on it, and it's just a truly impressive piece. The downside of the gunship not funding, I would say, is not good for TVC. If I had to just kind of put all the pieces together in my mind and think about the history of this toy line and the way things have gone in the past. We know that the big theme is the Battle of Geonosis for next year. They're focusing on prequels, while still making other things. The main focus is on Attack of the Clones and the Battle of Geonosis. The downside to this Haslab not funding, I would say, is that there may not be an opportunity to see something like an Imperial shuttle or like a Jawa Sandcrawler, which I know a number of folks have said they want. I think Hasbro could potentially look at this if it doesn't fund, as the message might be, even though we know there's obviously a lot of factors and variables. I think the perception, not necessarily to the people designing the toys, but the higher ups might not approve of something that's an update to something that previously existed, like an Imperial shuttle, like a Jawa Sandcrawler, which would be unfortunate. And I think on an even deeper level, yeah, Hasbro has next year all planned out. Whatever they're going to make is already, like, for the main line, is already done. Like that's coming. But I think if the gunship doesn't fund, another downside would potentially be that the message that's interpreted might be that collectors aren't as interested in prequel products, which may not necessarily be the case. But again, the higher ups may not approve of another Haslab that's prequel oriented, or that is, or even just like the main line in 2027 or 2028. I think there will be less prequel figures and vehicles and product. And I think that's just the downside of this not funding. And again, I don't think anybody should fund something just for, if it's to go into debt or to, feeling compelled or forced to fund something. You should fund something because you want it, you're interested in it, and you like it. But unfortunately, in this hobby, there are drawbacks that things have when they do not perform well. We know Hasbro has already invested a lot of R&D into this because we have this big giant model that they have, and the Battle of Geonosis also ties into this whole theme, right? With the Falcon, with the gunship being kind of like the rallying point, the centerpiece of the whole campaign. So a lot of negative implications if the gunship did not fund, unfortunately. So I hope it funds. I hope that even if we don't unlock all the tiers, I think if we should be really, if the gunship funds and does not hit all the tiers, I think we stand a chance of still getting the figures eventually. But if it doesn't fund at all, I don't see any scenario that we get any of those figures. I don't see any scenario where we get Egg and Cola or Stacey Tin or Coleman Trevor. It would have to fund for those figures to be a possibility. So I certainly hope that it works out. If you are into gunships, get the gunship. I can tell you from having seen it that it's good. It is really, really, really good. I'm fangirling over that thing because I love that thing. It looked amazing in person. Just the sheer scale of it is so impressive. Even if we didn't get those stretch goals, I still want that gunship. I still really, really want that gunship. So we'll see what happens, putting out positive energy into the universe that we do get the gunship and that it works out and we can celebrate Battle of Geonosis next year with a brand new centerpiece to anchor all of our new scenes and all of our new, hypothetically, whatever Hasbro is working on for that theme, which we know they are, right? Because the theme has been revealed. So we know they're doing stuff. So that said, get the gunship. I'm going to take a sip of this sweet iced tea. And my voice is shot, you guys. I've been talking all day at work. I'm talking for the last 2.5 hours here by myself. So we're going to end it on our very final segment. All right. And then we're going to wrap up for tonight. And of course, our final segment of the night, as per always, the fan favorite, new acquisitions.
Good. New acquisitions.
All right, so this is your opportunity to let me know in the chat what you've added to your collection. I will show you a few things that I've added to mine. Of course, I will go first while you're writing your responses in here. So here we go. Let's start with Comic-Con. I got this lovely little poster for the Return to Tatooine theme, courtesy of Hasbro. Now, unfortunately, it's a little beat up. I pretty much always take a poster tube with me to Comic-Con because you do get a lot of free posters. I neglected to do that this year. So it got a little bit beat up. Hasbro was signing these too, like they were going around and like Chris Rife and Emily and Steve and Jing and different folks from Hasbro were signing them, and then and people were taking them, which was really cool. They were even signing some and just throwing them out there, and people would grab them. I didn't get that on mine because unfortunately I didn't have the time, and it just wasn't convenient to do it. But I would have loved to have had this all signed. But this is the complete poster for Return to Tatooine. And it's pretty cool. It's a little beat up, so I'm going to see if I can somehow get another one. But I mean, Han Solo is on here. Like the only thing that's not on here that should be on here is C-3PO, but maybe we'll get him at some point. So it's a pretty cool poster. Next thing, I want to give a shout out to my friend Anthony, the Imperial Communique, who is also running Platoon Systems, which is a line of display bases. Thank you, Anthony, for giving this to me. So I have it. I looked in it earlier. I haven't had a lot of time to mess with it, but it's basically a box of different display stands. And there's a lot of options in here, different colors, different peg sizes, Platoon Systems action figure stands. So when you guys get a chance, check out Platoon Systems online. That's our friend Anthony who's doing these. So thank you again, Anthony. I really appreciate it, my friend. Comic-Con, I also picked up this. We were talking about these earlier, the Ecto Glow Heroes. Once again, I'm a big fan of the retro, the real Ghostbusters Kenner toy line. Had a bunch of these as a kid. So I did pick up the 4-pack of the Ecto Glows. I haven't opened it yet, but I will. I also got me, of course I did. I got the the Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader Black Series set. Haven't opened it either. It comes with like a slipcase on it, but I took the slipcase off so you guys could see the figures. The display base and all that. Lots of stuff in there. You can see all the accessories like over here on this side. It looks really cool. I'm really excited to open this up. It's bigger than I expected. But yeah, it looks really cool. And I think the figures are all new, or at least Anakin, I believe, is all new. So I'm really excited to. I'm really excited to open that. Let's talk about things I've gotten recently. Other things. All right. So, okay. Another thing I love is Jaws. It's one of my top 5 favorite films. It's one of the few films where I can quote the entire film by heart. It's coming back to theaters in IMAX and IMAX 3D at the end of August. So there's a new popcorn bucket that you can get at certain theaters. I got this one at AMC. And you can open your mouth like that. Put your popcorn in there, which I'm never going to do. Close it. Just kind of push it. But it's a really nicely sculpted, look, it looks great. I kind of want the whole shark, but it looks cool. Neat piece just to have on the shelf. And it kind of like echoes that sort of Jaws poster look. It's really nice. I think it was like $45 or so, something like that. Kind of expensive, but I mean, all these popcorn buckets are ridiculously expensive these days. It's a nice piece. From Inart, I received the 1/12 scale, The Dark Knight Rises Batman. Have not opened it up yet, but I did receive that, so I have that here. I did also get the most recent wave of Star Wars Vintage Collection because Entertainment Earth likes to torture me. They sent me both of the most recent cases of TVC at the same time, along with a couple hammerheads for good measure. The hammerheads shipped separately and came in banged up. I need to email them about that. Really, really banged up, even though the box says fragile on it. UPS still likes to UPS, I guess. But I did post a picture, so I'll show you guys that of the latest wave of TVC on Instagram. And again, it's not just the latest wave. They actually sent me the the two most recent waves. So that's these guys right here. I haven't even opened them all yet. The only one I opened was Ventress because I was the most excited about that one. But Dengar, Asajj, Callus, Carson Teva, Ponda Baba, Rocket Launcher Trooper, Moff Gideon, Echo, Cobb Vanth, and Marin. So I have all of those. And then I also have received a number of 6-scale items. Sideshow, I got Greedo and Ponda Baba, I think. As from Hot Toys, I don't have them on here, but I got Ahsoka the White, got Hera Syndulla, I got young Ahsoka from the Ahsoka series, the Ariana Greenblatt version. Oh, and this one just arrived today. I think that's why I have him here. I haven't opened him yet, but got my good old hero here, Indy. Hot Toys Indiana Jones. I'm very eager to open this up this weekend and see what he's all about. And I'm sure I'm missing a few things. I know there were a couple of Jurassic things. Again, it's been like a month since I've been on. I've also been into the McDonald's, little McDonald's Happy Meals toys. I'm embarrassed to say how much McDonald's I've eaten in the last month. But yeah, I'm collecting those toys. So I got one today. I love those little toys. They're fun. So, just having a blast with those. Those are my acquisitions. And now I want you to show me yours. So let's go ahead and take a look here in the comments. We're going to scroll up and have a look. Did you see Mary's super chat? I did not, Adam. I'm so sorry, Mary. Let me go back, and I know I was like, I was talking for a while. Oh, there it is. Mary, you are a sweetheart. You really didn't have to. Thank you so much for doing that. Big show tonight. Thank you. Big welcome back. Mary, you are the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'd love to have you on Social Hour sometime if you ever were up to it. Thank you very much for doing that, my friend. Really, really, really sweet. Really, really, really appreciate that. And I apologize that I did not see that earlier. As I was on my soapbox talking about Haslabs and the Gunship. Thank you. And thank you, Adam, for bringing that up. Okay, new acquisitions. Let's see here. Where did we start? Oh, there's a lot of acquisitions this week. All right, Trevor Ritchie. Hello, Trevor says, just got the Land Speeder a few days ago. Highly impressed. Great vehicle. Very nice. I don't have that one yet. Pico B1, too many new acquisitions. Went to the Chicago Toy Show over the weekend. Nice. Good question, Dawson. How should we go about new acquisitions? All the acquisitions we've acquired during the hiatus, only this week? Whatever you want, Dawson, whatever you want. I know that I missed some. I know there were some other things that but it's like I said, it's been a month, so I don't know. Milky Way Skywalker, hello. Should buy what you like, but if you're anyone who has complained about the lack of prequel figures, this is where you have to put your money where your mouth is. This is the prequel focus time. Let's see here. TVC Imperial Chopper for Super Source Rex. Super Source Rex, how are you doing? Nicholas says, I got the Crosshair Wave. Did I say Echo? I said Echo, didn't I, when I was going over my new acquisitions? Not Echo, Crosshair. Although I have to wait for my birthday to open it. Well, it gives you something to look forward to on your birthday. I don't know when your birthday is, Nicholas, but happy birthday to you. Thank you for tuning in. BGB1 says, got a vintage Death Star, Java Droid, factory complete, and a Rebel troop transport, lots of TVC, and Micro Squadron Galaxy. You got a vintage Death Star? That is awesome. Should we do it? Should we do the thing? Let's do the thing.
That belongs in a museum.
Let's see here. Let's see. Dodson says Dimetrodon for $2. A couple of JP comic books and a Stegosaurus hatchling from Jurassic Park series 2 for $10.50. Cool. Very cool. Power Runner Base, latest acquisition. I was able to get the ISB Technical Agent, TVC Momon Nidon, Land Speeder, and a friend was able to hook me up with and get me the Mustafar Duel set that's in the mail. Very nice. Very nice. Before I forget, the SDCC exclusives will be up on Pulse tomorrow. All right, so if you want If you want the Black Series Obi-Wan Anakin or the Ghostbusters Ectoglows or anything else, be sure you set your alarm. Trevor says only pickup for me was the armored Moff Gideon, having torn far on hold to pick up at my local comic book shop. Torn far. Mary says Sideshow Greedo, Hot Toys Hera, and Ahsoka Padawan, TVC Hammerhead, Cub Banth, Crosshair, and Ponda Baba. Very nice. It's been crazy lately, huh, Mary? Like, with all these 6-scale things. And Sideshow is shipping a lot of things. I have stuff. I think Kit Fisto is shipping like within the next few days. Not just Kit Fisto, but I think there's Commander Cody and Airborne Trooper are ready to ship. I'm like, no. Give me some time there. Alex says San Diego Comic-Con, G.I. Joe Classified, Cold Slither, Void Rivals, Marvel Legends 3-pack, Savage Lands, and TVC Crosshair, Cub Banth, and Night Sister Maren, Moff Gideon, and Dark Trooper armor. Good haul. Super Source Rex, I was able to get the SH Figure Arts Spider Punk. Jason says, I was able to snag the new Rex. Can't wait to get home and see it. I forgot to say this. I was not able to get the Rex. I'm so bummed out. I did not get the San Diego Comic-Con Jurassic Park, the Lost World Jurassic Park T-Rex. I really wanted it. It actually went online on Thursday last week. I forgot. I totally forgot. I was going to order it online just because I don't like hearing things around Comic-Con, which I had to do with these things over here. But I forgot. I got to Comic-Con Friday morning and they were not available. They were sold out. So I'm SOL on that. I don't want to pay $300 on eBay though. So I'm going to wait it out a little bit. Mandalorian Japan channel. FedEx throws my friend's packages in the woods behind his house and doesn't even bother to put them out on his porch. Oof, that's not good. Allison says, my recent pickups aren't extensive. Vintage TIE Fighter pilot and sealed boxes of Charlie's Angels Series 2, 3, and 4 cards circa 1977. July through November, I am up to date on TVC figures. I made the entire Echo Base Medical Bay area that will connect to Command Center for TVC. Ooh, that sounds cool. Alex, how's it going? Alex says, Popcorn Bucket Jurassic Rebirth Dinosaur T-Rex footprint. That is huge. I saw it at the theater when I got the Jaws one. It's a really big footprint. I was like, that's cool, but the one that I did get, actually, it's not even in this room. I did get the embryo popcorn bucket. I ordered it from Regal online. I'll have to show it next week, I guess. But I did get that one. I forgot. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you. Amanda Mitchie says, I got Callus, but still waiting on the rest of the pre-orders to get a nice 1978 vintage Death Star Commander. Nice. Mandalorian Fan Channel also says, I just finally picked up Black Series Dark Nihilus. I wish Hasbro would make HK-47 in Black Series. That'd be a cool one. I'd be surprised if they didn't do that at some point. Lorena says, haven't gotten any of the new wave yet. My hub's got a lot of first clones in, though, so those will work with the gunship. Very cool. By the way, the standard Attack of the Clones Clone Trooper is selling out. The only place that had it still was Hasbro Pulse, even as recently as a couple of days ago. But I think because people are now that this Haslab gunship is a thing, I think a lot of people are trying to get those clones in case it funds. So yeah, if you see them anywhere and you need clones, get them, because Amazon was out, Entertainment Earth was out. I don't remember if GameStop had them or not, but Hasbro Pulse had them for sure because I saw them in stock. I was going to get some more, and then they sold out. So yeah, if you see those anywhere online and you need them, make sure you get them just in case. Well, even not just in case. I mean, the theme next year is Battle of Geonosis. So you still want clones, right? So definitely get more clones. Maybe they'll release more clones too. I don't know. But Super Source Rex, I got into building Gundam sets. I picked up a lot of specialty tools like nippers, blades, sanders. I don't know a lot about that, but sounds interesting. Lorena says, I also got the deluxe IG with Grogu and Zillan. It's funny you mentioned that. I finally I had it pre-order with Entertainment Earth, and they still haven't shipped it. So I bought one from Amazon maybe a few months ago, maybe like 2 months ago. I got tired of waiting. I don't know why they haven't shipped that one. I need to check on that. Sideshow's massive shipping drops not helping matters either. No, not at all, Ken. That's what I was referring to earlier, was all the stuff that they're processing. I got Darth Nihilus and SDCC exclusives, Key Shredder, Master of the Universe figures, Mandalorian fan channel. Ed says he got a rock. Ed is another OG from 2013. He's still hanging around these parts. Adam, our bouncer. You might want to keep an eye on this guy right here. Just saying. Lots of acquisitions. Hope you had a good time at SDCC. I didn't get to go, but a friend went and interviewed Hasbro for me. They are nice people. They are they are the best. They are the best. I feel bad for a lot of the stuff that they get online because I know it's not their fault, a lot of the decisions that are made, but they are the best. People at the Hasbro Star Wars brand team that are there at the conventions, they are the absolute best. Runner Base says, someone at Hasbro said new clones are coming, same mold as the 501st Lieutenant. I would wait. I don't remember that being said. 501st Lieutenant. The old mold from years ago? I don't want more of those, if that's what that is. Alexa keeps asking if I want to order more. LOL. Daniel, hello. Daniel Falconer, Hammerhead, Crosshair, and Cloud arrived, but the biggest new acquisition creations that I'm excited to complete are my custom Yavin diorama to house my ghost and Kashyyyk Dio for my 41st Elites. Send me pictures of that. It sounds cool. Hinted at new super battle droids coming. I did not see that. He is here to make trouble. I'll answer for him. I also noticed, you guys, that the TVC Princess Leia Organa from A New Hope is selling for like $50 online. I didn't see that coming. Like she was only out like what? Like late last year, or was it fall last year maybe that she came out? But she's selling for big bucks now. People want that Princess Leia. So again, if that's one you're missing or you want another one, if you see it somewhere at a good price, get it. Someone that popped up in the chat of another live stream. Scott and I got the most recent wave. Glad we finally got Crosshair and Marin. Cool. I think that is all the acquisitions. You guys. I'm exhausted. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Cantina Social Hour, we're back after our month-long hiatus for the summer break. It feels good to be back. It feels great to have been here, even though I'm exhausted and almost a little bit short of breath from all the talking I've been doing for the last, holy crap, almost 3 hours that I've been talking to myself here. Talking to you guys, I mean. I'm almost winded. Thank you guys immensely for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Thursday night, I think it worked out quite well. We'll be back next Thursday. I'll announce the guests on Instagram. We'll check in on the Haslab. We'll see where things are at. And we will talk about whatever toy news is revealed between then and now. And hopefully there's something good in there. There's been a lot to cover tonight, so thank you for bearing with me as we try to work through it all. And I know there's other things that we could have touched on too that we didn't get to, but again, we're already at almost 3 hours, and I have no guests. I'm here by myself, talking to myself, talking to you guys for all this time. So it's worth it. It's worth it. Again, I would not be doing this if it weren't for you. Thank you again, Mary, for your very, very generous super chat. Really appreciate that. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll do this again. Get the gunship. Have fun collecting. Let's do what we do. Enjoy the weekend. It's Friday night eve or Friday eve. Tomorrow's Friday. Then we have our weekend. I'll definitely be working on my collection over the weekend. There's a lot of things to unbox and to get onto the display dioramas. Still working on some videos. I still want to do another video, a new video collection tour, because the room looks completely different than it even did a month ago. Not the whole room, but a good bit of it looks quite a bit different. I had to move a lot of things around, and it took that month-long hiatus to do it, and I'm still not even 100% done. And more stuff's always coming in, right? So it's always like finding space and making space for new stuff. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, 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 really appreciate you. No matter where you're tuning in from out in the galaxy, thank you for watching Cantina Social Hour. I'm Victoria from Victoria's Cantina. I am signing off. I am probably going to get ready for bedtime here soon. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be kind, be safe, spread positivity, good energy, good vibes. We will see you guys on the next stream. It's been a blast. Love y'all. Take care. Take care of each other. And have a great night. Peace out, you guys.
Thank you very much.